And with that, Monica, come on up.
Thank you very much, Farhan. And good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are well today. I will start with the 29th plenary meeting that President Espinosa is chairing right now as we speak. She's presiding over the 29th plenary meeting on the necessity of ending the economic, commercial, and financial embargo imposed by the United States of America against Cuba, item 43. As of this morning, the list of speakers has 36 member states inscribed. The meeting is scheduled to last until 1 p.m. today and tomorrow, 1st of November. The 30th plenary meeting on the same subject will take place at the J Hall starting at 10 a.m. And this afternoon, the PGA will speak at the high-level dialogue of the presidents of the General Assembly, ECOSOC, and the Security Council. Ms. Espinosa emphasizes the importance of renewing the commitment to multilateralism and implementing the Agenda 2030 on sustainable development. The meeting with the three presidents will be held at the ECOSOC chamber from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Some of you probably must have seen the tweet that the president issued a while ago. She issued a tweet on the World Cities Day saying that we must make sure that our cities are inclusive and that everyone can reap the benefits of the urbanization. And she reminds us that half of the world's population at the moment live in cities, and by 2050, it will be 70%. On the PGA's agenda, the President will have a bilateral meeting with the Ambassador of Pakistan, Her Excellency Dr. Maliha Lodi. She is also holding separate meetings with the President of the International Criminal Court, ICC, His Excellency Judge Chile Ebowi Ozuji. Later today, President Espinosa will receive in her office Mr. Volker Turk. He is the Assistant High Commissioner for Protection at the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR. And this is a short briefing for today. Do you have any questions? Dr. Abadi, and then afterwards, our colleague and Edith. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Abadi.
Thank you, Monica. You heard, I believe, my question to Farhan. Would the President of the General Assembly be in favor of seeing a mandate come out of the General Assembly for the investigation of killed journalists?
The President has called, and she stands by her call of an independent, an urgent investigation. And as Farhan said very eloquently before, I'm not talking about hypotheticals, but in regard with your questions, we all know that any decision made by the General Assembly or by any other body, of course, is the prerogative of member states. But she, on her call, and specifically on her call, she stands by what she said before. It is necessary to have an urgent, an impartial, and an independent investigation into this killing. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I go to you, and afterwards,
Okay.
Edith.
Thank you, Monica.
Yes, go
I have
ahead.
a question on the resolution on the embargo.
Yes.
And what's the view of the President of the proposed amendments, the 8 amendments that the United States wants to include in this discussion? What's the view of the President on this, especially taking into account that over the last 20 years, this business pretty much has been done in only one day, and now there's a delay because of this, added discussion, added debate. So what's the view of the President on that?
The President is chairing the meeting, and there are, as we said before, several member states, dozens actually, inscribed to speak today. The meeting will go to tomorrow, and we'll expect the action that member states will take tomorrow. Yes, thank you. Edith, and then you, Linda.
I was,
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask whether you're hoping that all the speeches are finished today so that voting will take place at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, most likely we have 36 member states, so there will be, it will stop at 1 p.m. So tomorrow it will continue, and we'll see which action will be taken. Most likely, but we cannot guarantee because we don't know what's going to happen after today and in the meeting tomorrow.
Why does it have to stop at 1? Why couldn't it go until 2?
I don't know about that. It has been scheduled by 10 to 1 p.m. Okay, I have Linda and then Hamid.
Thank you,
Go ahead.
Monica. I just had a question about the setting aside of the death sentence for the Christian woman in Pakistan, and I was wondering if the PGA has made a statement or intends to.
Well, the PGA has taken note of this decision by the court, and we don't have any further comments on this. Hamid.
Yes, Monica, thank you. I have the same question. If the PGA is aware of the withdrawal of Vienna following Washington and Budapest from the Global Compact on migration, and follow-up, she will be residing over the conference in Marrakesh to endorse that. So can you confirm that?
Well, she has learned this morning that the government in question, in this case Austria, despite its support for many of the provisions of the Global Compact for safe, orderly, and regular migration, does not intend to sign the document, but the PGA took note of the announcement. She is very much looking forward to a strong conference in Marrakesh, in Morocco. Mrs. Espinosa considers migration by nature a multilateral challenge, but that requires global action. So that's why this conference is so important. The Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration, as I said before, requires collective action to address an issue which belongs, at the end of the day, to all of us. The PGA thinks that we need also to remind ourselves that the history of humanity is the history of people on the move, of migration, and that same societies and countries, or most of them, have benefited from migration. So she's looking forward to Marrakesh and to keeping working with all countries in this regard.
Would
Yes.
she take the initiative to talk to the Austrian authorities about their decision?
Mrs. Espinosa has been talking to member states, immediately after she took office. But you remember that during the transition period, she was working around the clock, as she still is, on this issue. It is a very important meeting for actually the first international conference in her presidency, and we are all very committed on this. Yes. Any other questions? No? So I see you tomorrow, and thank you very much.